What is going on, beautiful people? Live for a few minutes. Going live for a few minutes. Get your hair out your face. Don't mind my necklace. Rocking my friend's merch. Be humble, be yourself, be almighty. Famous Nameless OnlyFans star. That's funny. What is going on, beautiful people? I got a few minutes going live. Y'all want to hop in a guest request? I don't know how it looks. Can we do the guest? Is the guest request thing on? Grid. Switch. I want to do grid today. So, if y'all want to hop in the box, we can hop in the box today. Hello, House of. Oh, I know you don't know. Don't I know you? I thought I did. Huh. House of Moonlight. What's going on, y'all? Brooke, what's up? How are you? Robin Maddox, what's going on? How you doing? I was just hanging out for a few minutes, y'all. Just chilling. Hope y'all having a fantastically beautiful day, though. It is. What's today? Friday? I gotta get up in the morning and do some one-on-ones. Gina, what's up? Tennessee in the house. What's going on, Ali from Tennessee? What is up? Hi, what's going on, y'all? Hope y'all having fantastic. You have helped me so much to understand my narcissistic ex-husband. Cool. Huh? Well, I suggest a tiny square, not the full screen, because I changed the view. I wanted to see if people wanted to come on. I'm going to switch the layout back. Is that better? Belinda from Louisiana, what's up? Montana in the house. Sent you likes. Thanks for the likes, y'all. Thanks for tapping the screen for me. I appreciate that. Seriously, I do. Hello. What is going on, y'all? So if I don't know, I'm doing not a live series. I'm doing a series of one-on-one interviews on my YouTube channel. It's Mental Healness. I went live. I did an interview with Nikki Giovassis last week. It posted it today. It's an amazing interview. She's an amazing person. Like great interview. Laura from Chicago. What's going on? I appreciate you bringing awareness to this topic. Well, appreciate you for watching the awareness and absorbing the awareness. Thank you. Great therapy listening to you. How can you tell when you realize you were a narcissist? It's a long story. There's a pinned video on my page about how I found out about narcissistic personality disorder. You handle your ghost of choices when you were choosing to change your. I don't understand what they say. But I left my narcissistic relationship with your help. There you go. Power up. Tips on narcissistic father-son relationships. Don't search for validation from him. Just don't do that. So, just don't do that. Amanda, what's going on? How you doing? You really want to be on here? Y'all want to be on here? We can do a quick chat. Y'all want to hop on here? Birthday twin. What's going on, lady? How you doing? Just hanging out. What did you do? Can you hear me? No, she left. Hey, Sky, what's going on? I'm doing well. Hope you are. Tips on dealing with narcissistic father as a daughter. Don't search for validation from him. Get validation from yourself. You don't need validation from a narcissistic parent. Were you in a narcissistic relationship? Yes, I have been in a relationship with a narcissistic woman before. Amanda, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
What's up?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How you? I already asked you that. So what's going on? How's life treating you?
I'm working all the time. I've got some medical things I'm dealing with. Caught myself up with another narcissist.
Oh, Jesus.
Everyday kind of crap.
It happens. You get so life is gonna it's like when life gives you narcissists, make narcissists lemonade. Just kidding. There's a dad joke, y'all.
Grind them up in a food processor no, just kidding.
But seriously, you're going to attract narcissistic people. It's the whole allowing them access to you, understanding what you're going through, and cutting access off as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? Because
I got pretty disappointed in myself.
I mean, yeah, you can feel some disappointment there, but you also can feel some joy in cutting it off before it got to 15 years and back and forth and craziness and the police and you can find there's a silver lining.
Progress.
There's a gold lining. It's not even a silver lining. It's a gold lining.
I got my final orders on my divorce.
Did you?
Yes, it
Nice.
is
I thought you
official.
already got
It's
that.
done. Hmm?
I thought
No,
you already
well,
got
I
that.
got my divorce was final, but then they gave him another 6 weeks to do some responding. And so everything's final. Final orders are done. Um, yeah, everything's that it's great, and I feel really proud of myself. I feel a lot of progress, and life is going
Hey,
forward.
that's all
Um,
it is right there. But
yeah.
you have much. Yeah, that's all it is. Progress. It's all about baby steps are still steps. You get out. Like I said, a lot of people don't make it out of there. I talk to people. You know, I talk to people pretty much every single day, and
Hmm.
it's. I've been doing a lot more one on ones here lately. I'm tired. The one on ones be draining you. They draining you mentally. I be like this.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I don't know
So
about on your end of it, but like, I mean, just being in that one on one and just talking about it. I have to say, like, when I've done like lives with you, I get drained for sure talking about it. But like
yeah,
when I had my one on one with you, like I was so energized after that talk.
yeah. Power up.
And
It's power up. Power time.
yeah, I mean, it just felt like, getting that validation was huge. So if y'all haven't
Mm-hmm.
had a one on one with Lee, he's not that tired. Y'all go
I
go schedule one.
yeah. I left my schedule. I accidentally I left my schedule open one week and I didn't forgot to close it, and it was like literally I had like 50, damn near 50 people book them. I was
Wow.
tired. I didn't want to cancel them, but I was tired. You know what I mean? What's going on, y'all, in the chat? What is going on? I understand. Skits
I
are
can't
amazing.
read.
Thank you for the skits. Bring life to it, y'all, because you can hear people can talk about narcissism all they want to, but the skits help bring life to it, and
They, they
bring
do.
life and realization to it, because you can talk about gaslighting, you can learn about it in therapy, you can look up the definition, you can watch videos about gaslighting, but until you experience it in real life, you don't really know what it is. Like, oh, gaslighting, but then you see a skit about gaslight. Oh, that's gaslighting. I thought that was normal. Gabby Marcel, what's going on, girl? I see you in the chat. What's going on? Hope you having a beautiful.
um. Also, Lee, I have a question. So while I don't know, I just actually made a video on it. About like the silent treatment and stuff like that.
Mm.
Like, have you ever been in a position like where you had like a disagreement or an argument with your significant other, and you go silent, because you don't want to deal with the accountability
Yeah.
or answer or be answered for whatever has happened.
Yes.
And okay, so like, did you ever like say it was you just needed to reflect, you just needed some time away
Yeah. I mean,
and do that
typically,
whole ghost thing and then come back and actually have something to say about it?
yeah. Typically, when people do the silent treatment and ask for space to take time to think, and especially if you're trying to hold them accountable, they're needing time to make up excuses or to come up with something, come up with a reason. It's not they can't do it on the spot all the times, so they go silent. It's just like we need to take a break to think about this and what we really want and how I need to handle this, and they'll go ghost on you and
In
things
my
like
experience, they don't have anything to say. This has
yeah,
been two people so far that, well, more than that, but like, they disappear on the under the guise of saying, "Oh, I've got to reflect. I really need some time with my thoughts and my feelings,
oh
to
yeah,
think about why I treated you this way." But then it's like they almost freeze you out long enough to the point that you feel desperate for that interaction again,
yeah.
and then they don't really have to say anything when they come back.
Yeah, they'll stonewall you enough so you
Mm-hmm.
typically they'll ask sometimes they'll ask for space and just don't have any intention on handling the issue. They just hope it goes away on its own. Like a rash. You see a rash and you're like, man, hey, I don't want to go to the doctor for this rash right here. So hopefully it'll go away on its own. That's like a narcissistic person in an argument and things like that. Um
Right.
what if you're choosing to be with a narcissist? Any tips? No, I was just
Don't.
so don't. Yeah, I mean, so it's easy to say don't, but like sometimes people say, sometimes people's situations are completely different. So if you're choosing to be with a narcissist, it's kind of like buckle up. Because I also saw you say, she also said, I know it's going to be hard. So yeah, it's just kind of like you're willfully going into it. So it's just kind of like you have to dull yourself. You have to dull yourself down. Like, you can go into it as a sharp knife, but you have to end up eventually dulling yourself down to be in this relationship, to be, to be with this person. You have to understand that it's not going to be an equal relationship, not equal give and take, gift and receive or whatever. It's going to be like you're giving a lot more than you're receiving in the relationship dynamic. Thanks why y'all said they want to come in the chat. Sorry, y'all. We're just adding
Also,
other people.
you know, I'll if I can like speak on that. Honestly, I did the same thing. Like I did all this research and I knew what I was dealing with my ex-husband. I knew what he was, and I really thought I could love him into being better, into treating me better. I really thought that if I could just show him what it was to be loved and to be loved properly and give him something he didn't have growing up or in his past. But you're going to have to develop really thick skin. You're going to have to not have any expectations of him or her. You're going to have to really just be okay with taking a back seat with your feelings and your emotions and your needs.
Yes. But somebody in the chat said you're a demon. Yes, I am a demon.
Oh, he's a demon.
Yes, from the depths of hell, coming for you.
Well, I can get in there and moderate for a while and let you guys
No,
chat.
that's fine. I see. I see that.
You
I see
guys lay off a
stuff
leaf.
like that. But,
Um,
no, it's
but
funny. It's super cool. Yeah.
I know
I,
you don't care.
I can think it's funny.
But I'm gonna pop off of here anyway and take
All
my
right.
dogs for a walk,
All
and
right.
I have to go back to work.
All right. Well, be safe. Take
So
care of yourself.
it's good to see your face, Lee. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. So what's going on? It's a dark baby. What's up? How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm okay. I've been watching some of your videos.
Okay. You watch some of my videos. Have a specific question?
Yeah, so just one, I think, made me cry because I was involved with this narcissistic person, elderly.
Mm-hmm.
I was complaining to her of what I was going through with a narcissist friend. I didn't know that she was a narcissist.
Oh.
So, yeah, um, but of late, I just found out that she's one. And at one time, she was recording me while I was pouring myself to her. She
Oof.
was recording me. Yeah. So I found your video of when a narcissist is recording you. But I was pouring myself to her. Then she was
Mm-hmm.
recording me. Yeah. So the one that I came across, yours was a video when you were talking about how a narcissist records for their own I don't know if it was for their own protection or to show others, but it really made me cry a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll record you. They'll record you doing, being emotional and things like that. Sometimes they like it. They'll just go back and watch it later to see your reaction. And sometimes they'll depending on what they're recording, they'll use it against you later on to kind of control you or something like that. You know what I mean? They'll use that as
Yeah.
well. So it just really just depends. You said you're pouring yourself out to them, so that's it's what it is right there. You know,
Yeah. She was also sharing those videos, I think, with her daughter.
with her daughter, for
Yeah.
what? Did she give a reason why she was sharing those videos with her daughter?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they record people. So it really just depends on the reason they're recording people and why they do that. You know what I mean? It really, really does. Like they can use it against you later on. They can weaponize it against you, or they just can. It really just depends on what exactly they were recording. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends on the situation and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I've been on a healing process with narcissistic personality.
Mm-hmm.
Narcissistic. I've been on a healing journey with narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
So I felt like it was just a setback when I watched your video. It made me cry a lot
Yeah.
because
Sometimes it's good to
she
cry
was
to get out.
laughing. She was laughing as she was recording, and
Oof.
everything just it was a flashback. She was laughing and smiling, and she was telling me she's taking a selfie, but later I realized that she was recording me because I talked to one of our close. I talked to the son, and the son was using the same words that I was using with her during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had an idea, but when I was talking to the son, then I realized that she was really recording me. I found it sickening.
Yeah. You said you found it sickening.
Mm.
Some people, like I said, they're doing things, like I said, to try to set you off, and some people are sadistic and like to see you in pain. And somebody just said my first name here. Who's DOL Scato? Who's that? Somebody just said my first name here. Somebody here using my government name, busting my alias up. I'm Lee on TikTok. Don't use the demon in here. Who is that? It is funny. But yeah, but me personally, Dark Baby, I would definitely cut her off. I mean, there's no point in having friends like that in your life that records you to use things like that against you later on. You mean there's no point. It sucks, but there's no point in doing that because that just sets you back and things like that. He laughed at me in court. Yeah, your cousin
No,
Donnie's homeboy. So,
I've cut her off. I've blocked her on all social media networks.
mm,
And when I came across her, she tried to make me feel guilty for cutting her off.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's not your guilt though. They always try to make you feel bad and things like that. So it's not your guilt. You got to stand in your truth. Like you don't have to have people like that in your life. Access to your life is a privilege, not a right. You know what I mean? So power up,
Yeah, thank
power
you so
moves.
much. It was
There's no
it
problem.
was a it
Thank,
was
thank,
really a
thank.
bad experience being around her because she would just come up with false stories from Norway, and she would believe those false stories and would want me to accept or
Hmm.
what she was coming up with, to agree with what she was coming up with. She would just totally come up with lies, blatant
Yeah.
lies.
Yep. You see that? That's horrible right there, though. You know what I mean? My what's up the hell? I see you pop in. But yeah, like I said, I would just cut her off and just like anybody that's spreading rumors back to her, I would also cut them off too because like that just is it could be you know a cycle of abuse coming from the flying monkeys and other people as well. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah, I cut everyone she's close to around. Yeah,
yep,
because I had also to block them. The people that she's close with, I had to block them, all of them.
yes, because that helps out. It helps you. It helps you heal. You can't heal it in the same environment that makes you sick. Sorry, what's that, Brianna? Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I just
Hi.
see you.
Yeah, I gotta go. Thank you so
All right,
much for just
thanks for
being
popping on.
here
Thanks for
and
popping on. Be safe.
helping with your videos.
Be safe. Take care of
Bye.
yourself. All
Bye.
right. Somebody, oh, you want to say, Brad? Somebody said, do you want your victims to heal? My victims to heal? I want everybody to heal. That's why I'm online trying to help people. I feel like everybody. I saw somebody comment
Came
earlier.
on here, honestly. I wanted to ask you, what was it that made you go to therapy and start like dealing with the fact that you're a narcissist? I've always wondered that because I was married to one and I was with
Yeah.
him for almost 7 years. I have 2 kids with him, and like it took me a while to realize what a narcissist was in general and then like acknowledge the fact that I was also raised by one. But
Mm,
my ex never had that want to like, see that there was a problem with how he viewed things and how he thought, because it was like legitimately screwing everything in the world that was going on in our lives and the people around us. And it always
yeah.
made me wonder what pushed you to do that.
So I have like I feel like the key word you just used and what you just said is want. I want to be better, just overall as a human being, and as a diagnosed narcissist, I want to be better. I've always, wanted to be better at every single thing that I've tried to accomplish in life. So going to therapy and things like that are part of it. You know what I mean? So my wife
Yeah.
called me. So I see somebody said my wife. My wife was not. Yeah, she was. Not, my wife was not the reason I sought out therapy, y'all. See, I feel like people say that, and you give people false hope because my wife had like she literally called me a narcissist. She didn't force me to go to therapy. That wasn't her recommendation. That was all on me. because like I wanted to go through therapy because I wanted to understand
Yeah, and
myself.
you guys, the way you think, like if it's
Mhm.
not from what my experience, anyways, with my narcissist, it was all selfishly driven everything.
Yeah,
And it was all everything that got done was always stuff that was putting him first. And I never
yeah,
understood that because he was the one that wanted to start a family and like do all that stuff and get married and
yeah,
everything. He had this idealistic view of stuff. And it always like confused me of what was going on with that and like discovering all that stuff through this period of time. You've been my favorite person to watch because
yeah,
you've been openly talking about
yeah,
what it's like in your head, which all of
yeah,
us out here are like, wait, how does this work? How does this connect in your
yeah,
brain? I always was
yeah,
curious about how that stuff worked and learning through it now, it's been absolutely crazy.
yeah.
And from being somebody who's going through therapy for it, like, have you like had to relearn patterns of things to like deal with things better with your significant other?
So me personally, not really, because I feel like the mitigating the factors that you just described, I guess you say your ex wanting those things, and so that's the same thing. That's what still drives me, wanting things for yourself. It's still a selfish need, but it's a selfish need to go to therapy, as opposed and working on myself, as opposed to going out here and manipulating, getting women and doing things like that. So my selfish need is to make myself better. So it's the same driving force. It's just applied differently. I can go out here and manipulate people and, do that to women and whatever. And it's just in my life in general and people around me. But it does me better. It makes me feel better being in control of myself as opposed to being in control of other people. Could I be in control of other people? Yeah, I could definitely do that. It's not hard to do, what I mean? Because people are, especially people these days, it's easy to gaslight so many people and manipulate so many people because people just believe everything they see online. You know what I mean? They also
Or if you open up to them with a little bit of stuff, they're like, oh, yeah, I'll dive right into that.
yeah, I can absolutely get online and start a whole nother page where nobody knows me and pretend to be an empath healing from narcissistic abuse. It's like, look, y'all, I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse, and just tell everybody everything that I was doing that it was happening to me. Just like normal narcissists, like people will believe it because they don't. Man, why wouldn't they? Oh, a man out here being vulnerable, he's a survivor. Ooh, and they're just, it happens. A lot of people do that. They just pretend to be like that. Why are some people attracted to narcissists? Because narcissistic people, it just, everybody has their level of attraction. I don't think it's the I don't think it's the narcissist that they're attracted to. I think it's the person, the physical appearance. First of all, has a lot to do with it, y'all. It's not
And
just
a lot of narcissists are very charismatic for reasons of, manipulating people to keep them in a specific light.
hmm yeah. So that's part of it right there. Because like people, I think people would just be shocked. Just like how do somebody in the comment section said she's a narcissist magnet. You're not a narcissist magnet. You're a person magnet. You picking a narcissist. Why? Get to the root cause of that. You
That's
don't
what
have to.
I did. I did
Yeah.
that exact thing. I realized that I picked the person that I picked based off of pretty much he treated me very similar to how my mother treated me growing up, which I
Yeah.
felt a lot of love from my mother, but at the same time it was highly abusive and highly toxic. And it was
Yeah.
like little manipulations that turned into deeper stuff as I got older. And the same thing happened in my relationship. And it took me almost an entire year since being with my ex and leaving him actually completely to realize that my life cycle of abuse and my comfort zone was actually a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what drew me to stay and continue doing that stuff because it was a familiarity in my brain. And I was like, okay, well, I'm comfortable with this. And I was like, the last person who was in here said, you think that you can love somebody enough to make them do better. But
Yeah.
like you said, it's really all self driven stuff. And I tried to do all that stuff. I was the perfect wife. I did everything. I cleaned up the house. I took care of all his little needs of everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I was always that person. And I always thought I could do better. I always thought I could do more. I thought it was always my fault. And then
Yeah.
leaving it, realizing all that, it helped me a lot to be able to pick that stuff out in people too and realize, there are narcissists who do try to be better. Even if it's for a self-driven reason, they're still becoming better people through that journey. And then there's people who are using that, manipulating it to their advantage. And it's easier to like pick that stuff out and see that. And I would never have been able to have the kind of understanding that I do of like what it's
Mm-hmm.
like, other than my personal experience, if I didn't
Yeah.
have you on this app following and like seeing what you were talking about and explaining
Yeah.
it from your perspective and situations. definitely was like a huge eye opener. And I feel like a lot of people need to learn about that kind of stuff, and maybe it will help other narcissists, find that self-driving thing to do the same thing you're doing to better themselves. Even if it is a selfish thing, it's still better overall.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. That's what I'm doing now. Like I said, I'm just my whole thing is, it's driven by selfishness, but it's selfish. So me personally, I believe in the thing. Sometimes you have to be selfish before you can be selfless. You have to give to yourself
Yeah.
before you can give. You have to give to yourself before you can give to others. I truly
Can't
believe
pour
that.
out of an empty cup.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? It is a thing right there. So there's a lot going on in that situation with people and people, places, and things with nouns. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there. Heather, what's up? Hey,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I'm okay. Give me a second. I think my earbuds just went out. Hang on.
Okay, well, that's super unprofessional, but we'll talk later, Heather. I'm just been unprepared. But yeah, so yeah, like the first person who was on here, that's Amanda. I've been talking to Amanda. I did a 1-on-1 with her back in May of last year. You know what I mean? And she was like super like down and out. And this is when I first started doing the 1-on-1 coaching. So I was just like, what the hell? How, I was just like, and this is the first time I talked to somebody who's dealing with physical domestic violence. Typically, it's just the emotional stuff, but she was dealing with the physical stuff, and I was just like, what? And the reason I connected to her was because like we had the same birthday. Because she was like, I'm just a lover. I'm a Cancer. I was like, me too. I was like, when's your birthday? It was July 14th, so we had the same birthday, so we connected on that right there. So that helped out a lot. And she has been super empowered on her journey and things like that. So it's just like she's helping other people. She's telling a story and things like that. I think she actually had to go testify and put her narcissistic ex in jail. So that's tough. Because I see. Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments a few minutes ago said we're both out on bond. I'm telling you, if y'all don't learn to control your reactions to these people, y'all both can get locked up. I'm just telling you.
The reactional thing, like with all that, that drove me nuts because my ex's big thing was getting a reaction out of me. His family would record me. He
Oh
would
God.
record me. He went into DCYF here in my state and attempted to get my kids taken from me, which it
Oh,
was all proven to be non-factual stuff. But he had all of this evidence built up from when we first got together that I had no idea about initially until I left the home, because we were transitioning into where it was going to become a physical interaction between us, and I wasn't about to do that with my kids.
yep.
And that was like insane to learn that my reaction was what fed his behavior towards me to do the certain things to get that reaction from me, because it got something going for him. And I was like, wow, I never realized that, but it makes a lot of sense, kind of like pushing buttons.
Mm-hmm. They'll push it, but so I say this to people all the time that narcissists are always preparing just in case you leave. They're gathering evidence. They're doing things like that just in case you decide to bounce, so you have this. It's like a manila envelope full of evidence to use against you later on: videos, recordings, screenshots, text messages, and things like that. And I saw somebody
That
comment.
stuff.
Somebody comment section said he blamed me for hitting me. Yeah, he's gonna blame you for hitting him because you're there with him. Just like it's your fault. I know
Everything's the other person's fault.
I've never done this before. You bring out the worst in me. I've never hit anybody else before. Like it's your fault. You're a horrible person. You did this. Look at my hand. My hand is. I know you have a black eye, but look at my hand. Look at my hand. My hand is hurting. Y'all keep on messing with it. I'm just telling you. Like I'm gonna be real with y'all real quick. Stop. If you can get out of a toxic relationship early, get out of it early. Stop going back into it, because the more you go back into it, the more these narcissistic people become attached to you. And the more they become attached to you, the more they become obsessed with you. And the more they become obsessed with you means that the more that they will literally, they're more likely to send you to meet God. I know a lot of y'all, you want to be Christians and religious. They'll send you to meet your maker if you keep going back to them. I promise you. And you want to try to leave. They're going to send you to meet God and your kids. Yep. You'll send you and your kids to meet God, and then they'll send themselves to go meet Satan. They're gonna go to hell. I promise you. Don't play. Stop. I'm just
You
don't.
know the stuff with the supply that you speak of, like the new supply and like getting a new
Yeah.
supply. What is the dynamic behind that? I always wanted to really understand that, because when it's expressed in like other people's videos as well, I understand the concept of another person to target, but
Mm-hmm.
how does that transition work? Like how does a narcissist literally just go from, you know, like in my situation, mine's not probably not a normal one, but in my situation, my ex is my age. I'm 27. He's almost a year older than me. He's going to be 28 soon. He went in with a 17-year-old who was still actively in high school, and I'm talking the day I left. And I never understood how that worked. Like, how can you go from being in a severe committed relationship, though he had issues and stuff like that, to like immediately switching to that, and like they moved in together that day, and they
For
barely knew each other,
for
and
the
it very
17-year-old.
yes.
I mean, the operative word you just said is 17 years old. You mean like I mean a fitted hat.
I understand the
Um,
manipulation aspect of that, but that's what I was wondering about the whole supply thing. Like, how does that work where you go from one person, okay, they're not giving me what I want, to switch to that like so abruptly and be able to like, I
I mean,
never understood
I
that.
feel like you kind of just answered what you kind of answered you yourself. This person's not giving me what I want, so I think this other person can give me more, or there's more of an
So it's just that easy.
yeah, it's that easy. Once they emotionally disconnect from you, they're done. You know what I mean? They're absolutely
But
done.
they'll still do the weird like
Yeah,
behavior if you're like in
yep,
my case attached with kids, like they'll still
yep,
continue to
yep,
antagonize you, I guess.
yep. They'll still antagonize you. They'll still come back in and out of your life. They'll move on to somebody else, and it won't let you move on. You know what I mean? They'll
Okay.
just they'll do stuff like that. So it doesn't like just because they move on doesn't mean that they'll leave you alone. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
once they emotionally disconnect from you, they might not want to be with you anymore, but they also don't want anybody else to be with you anymore. Anybody else to be with you because they feel like they own you. And 17 years old, why is he not in jail? I just feel like that's jail time right there. 28.
Because technically the age of consent is 16 and her parents didn't say anything to the
That's
police. So,
yeah, that's some fucking horrible parents right there. Like
yeah, I
I've
don't
heard,
disagree.
guys.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say my ex is the best person either, nor is this person herself,
yeah,
but I just never like I didn't think it would I always thought there was like a little bit more behind certain things, though my ex was pretty plain on paper, like with it being all really selfish driven, but in a negative aspect. He has the, drug and alcohol problems and stuff too,
yeah,
issues that were on top of that stuff with his childhood. He always used things as excuses and was
yeah,
never willing to do the work. But I always thought like, oh, maybe he's just doing this because like he's trying to get some sort of way. But what it turned out, after the fact, realizing it, it's all about their personal stuff and how they view the world. And I took
yeah.
the whole you emotional maturity, like what age is your response,
Yes,
that recently made me realize that like it is as simple as it seems, even though it seems really complex, I
yes,
guess.
yeah. Emotionally immature. He's probably more emotionally immature than that 17-year-old girl that he ended up with. She's probably
Oh,
more.
he's definitely on a different level because he didn't take too long after being with her where she was texting people about pictures he was receiving from other people and doing the same thing he did with me.
I mean, shocker, 17 years old. They sometimes they'll go after people with low, just younger people and also people with limited
Oh, someone
emotional.
said I was pretty. Thank you.
Jamie, licensed therapist. What's going on? Recollect itself. What happened? You change your name? Is it different now? Can you hear me?
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh, okay.
hear. I'm
Oh,
Oh
so
having the
no.
same issue Heather is, I think.
oh, no, I don't. That's
I
why
can
I don't
like
use my head.
I can hear like every fifth word.
Oh, can you go out
I
and
know
come back
maybe
in?
it is you think it's my headphones?
It might be your headphones because
Yeah, I'll
If
go
they're
out and
maybe.
come back
AirPods,
in.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just moving around. I'm moving around. Sorry. Because y'all still hear though? I think everybody else can still hear. It might be the headphones because you said Heather had the same problem. I'm gonna lay in my daughter's little floor bed. I'm on the wall behind me.
I, for the first time, have my kids in their own bed right now. Usually they're right here with me.
Yeah, I'm in need of a good advice. I have a great You have a great therapist. Yeah. Guess I can still hear. Thank you for everything you say about mental health. Y'all are saving your. I feel like y'all. Of course, I appreciate the stuff, but I feel like y'all are saving your own mental health because other people are provided the same exact information, and they don't take it. They take it and do other things with it. So you're actually you have to take the initiative to save yourself. You really, really do. You know what I mean?
There was a comment that said something about this girl getting pregnant in my situation. I'm just gonna let you know my ex already freaked out on her because she attempted to get pregnant by him, and now he watches her do birth control because he won't do it kids ever again because he can't even do his own.
God,
So
it's so awful.
that was a whole thing. It's weird because my situation's hard for, I guess, for me to like deal with majority of the time because I do have to deal with him because we have kids together, but we also get along really well when we're just communicating back and forth like normal. Like we went to the park
Yeah,
with our kids and we communicated just fine. I mean, he did lie about what was going on in his personal life. He was telling me stories about how he's so anxious, he's not sleeping much, trying to guilt me into wanting to care for him again like he usually does. It's a very simple cycle I've acknowledged like early on in the relationship with him.
yeah,
And it it's just really weird that like they can act like multiple people almost.
yeah,
Very weird how it switches to what's convenient for them and like the lights that they're seen in for whatever reason.
yeah. I just feel like this switch is not what's convenient for them. It's what's convenient for you. What works on you. That's why they switch up to whoever they're talking to, whoever they're dealing with. Yeah,
I
different
guess I
math.
never really looked at that because I never got to see a lot of interaction between him and anybody in his life because
Yeah,
it was very skewed. I was allowed, like he said to me, like my friends are my friends, your friends are your friends. There were only a few people that we interacted with together.
yeah,
So it was definitely weird. But I mean, I also found out after the fact that like a lot of the stuff he made up about his life with the other people that I wasn't allowed to be around. So
yeah. There's a red flag right there. Let's keep everything separate. Even though we're in a relationship and have kids, we don't need to cross anything. We're crossing body parts and bodily fluids, but not friends. You know,
yeah,
like everything else is,
everything else was really
everything
intense
else.
all the time, but just not that.
Not let's cross everything else except friendships and family. Like no.
Yeah. It was, I definitely am not gonna lie, I was stupid. I was 19. I was just
So
dumbfounded with him as a person. I was just, it was a whole different space for me. But I definitely knew what I was walking into. I wasn't ignorant to who he was. I had known people who had interacted with him in the past, so I wasn't going in blind. I knew he had issues, but I wasn't aware of narcissism. I didn't know about, I'm not going to pretend to be like a super smart person in that aspect. It took me this abuse in my marriage to realize the abuse in my childhood, to realize what was going on with my mental health and how it was affecting how reactional abuses and stuff like that, which
yeah,
made my relationship more toxic. That stuff was insane. It
yeah.
was insane.
It definitely happened. He's a nerd. Somebody said, if a man has the audacity to hit a woman, I saw that question. It was just bugging me. Yeah, if they, so I will say this again: if they hit you, they will take your life. As like I said, they will send you to meet your maker. You won't. No more prayers will be needed. They will send you to meet God face to face, and you can have a conversation with him. Like I should have just God gonna look right at you and be like, you here a little earlier than I expected you to be. You should have just let that narcissistic person alone. Or
You're definitely not wrong. I had a seizure disorder that actually could put me into cardiac arrest, and my ex would put me in situations on purpose to trigger that so he could care for me and then make me feel bad for that care. And I ended up in the hospital quite a few times because of it.
oof, yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you that's your fault. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. And like to me, with my mental illness, what I did is I was like, well, if I look at it and I say, oh, well, I knew because I went into it knowing what I was going into. I knew that there was a lot of red flags and a lot of signs that were definitely negative. But I think of it that way because of all the abuse through my childhood and with him. I was like, well, technically it is my fault because I knew what I was walking into. I keep going back to him. We did break up several times. He pulled the, I'm going to go walk in front of a Mack truck or OD on drugs if you leave me. Like whole bunch of stuff like that. And this was after a bunch of cheating, after a bunch of other stuff. I just, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm trying.
It's not funny, but every time I hear that, I'm walking for the metro.
It is
like
kind of, it is
classic.
funny when you live through it though. When you like see situations like that, you've got to put humor in it to make it through.
You sometimes have to laugh. Yeah, you sometimes have to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm
You
Jamie,
back?
by the way, Brianna.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. I think I just had to take it off. It was messed
Okay.
up. So
The earbuds have been a thing in lives recently, I've noticed.
apparently not gonna mess with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So what's going on, Jamie? How you doing?
Oh my God, it's been way too long. I'm glad I saw you on, so I wanted to say hi and
This is a random live, right?
just chat if you want to. We can chat.
Yeah. I'd like you can chat. I was just chilling. Like I said, I'm in my daughter's room, hiding out right now. Just until
I know. I was like, too bad I don't drive through North Carolina. Right, North Carolina, right? I was like, too bad I don't drive there enough. If you guys have an East Coast meetup, we'll try to do something.
Oh, East Coast all the way. I'm New Hampshire.
Okay, you're not.
So I think, like I said, I think we'll be doing New York here soon. Georgia. We have like a live.
Wait, if you're in New York, I mean, you're probably in New York City more than you're in the upstate, but that's where I mean, even if you're in New York City, you should at least message me because I'm like, I can probably swing New York City. Yeah. I probably can't swing a casual drive to North Carolina though.
Yeah.
I'm going there for a concert, but
the next one is the next closest one in New York. I think we're gonna be in Toronto in November.
Oh, that's not far either. I'm close to the border.
Yeah, we've been.
I gotta get out.
So the next.
I think Toronto's closer than New York City.
Oh, is it? So, Austin, Texas. What you got? So, narcissism is a demon. Yeah, I hear that a lot, y'all. The Jezebel spirit, the demon, whatever. If that makes y'all feel better to call narcissists demons, then go right ahead, y'all. Because I just feel like everything. I feel like this is the mama from the Water Boy. Everything's.
Oh my God! Do you remember that? Oh my God, that was so funny. I love the Water Boy.
That's the devil. Toothbrushes are the devil. It's just like narcissists. If y'all want to, if that makes y'all feel better and to do spiritual, I had some a pastor or some dude make had a whole live video about self-aware narcissists. It was kind of hilarious. I was just like, y'all are just funny. It's just like I'm gonna tell you about. I'm gonna tell you about the narcissist demons on TikTok and Instagram. Like, shut up. Like, God. Like, y'all would just, boy.
Are you actually doing like a tour? Are you doing like a meetup tour? Like, what are the cities you just listed? I don't.
We started we had like a little group or whatever. Like
Oh, I had no idea. I thought you were starting to like hit some random places and be like, hey, let's do meetups or something.
Me and Ben Taylor, we started just doing the meetups, and we did one in Virginia. And then we did one in North Carolina. And then we kind of start teaming up with other people. So we, like I said, going to do Austin, Texas, October. Toronto is in November. I think January, February, Georgia, New York. It's coming up. There's okay.
Like I literally thought you were like, because I know that your other channel blew up. So I was like, what's stopping him from just randomly like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna start doing more random ones too, like that. Just I like doing the meetups. They were super interesting. But also we started to transition more to like we're still gonna do the meetups, but we started to transition more to like workshops and like speaking events.
See, that's what. Yeah, that's what. If I was gonna do anything, I feel like I'm not. I sound like a jerk here, but I'm like, would anyone go to my meetups? Probably not. But they'd go to my workshop. I'm like, they probably go to a workshop, and they'd be like.
Don't you have like 600,000 people that follow 600K plus?
Do you know how many people see my stuff right now? It's like 200 people see my stuff.
That's me.
That's me. Lee, go to my channel right now. Like the stuff I put out that was like mega hitting is getting like 200 views. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on with TikTok.
I see you more on Instagram than I do on TikTok.
That's the only thing that's really hitting lately. But it's, you know what? I just gotta ride the wave. But anyways, I was like, I would do the workshops in a second because I feel like that's the draw kind of that.
You're a therapist too. Like I said, we started, like I said, to do more like the workshops and stuff like that. Like Virginia Beach is the first workshop we're doing. Me and Ben Taylor are doing one in Virginia Beach, September the 24th.
Are you serious? You know my bestie lives there, right? Remember the podcast we were talking about that? That's where she lives.
Oh, VA Beach.
The girl that hosts my she lives there. So I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, okay. We'll be in the beach, like I said, doing this stuff like that. So if y'all want to do Virginia Beach coaching, whatever, live in-person workshop is going to be, go to www.mentalhealness.net. Y'all can check out the information on there, y'all.
Nice. Are you working with the girl? What's the abuse girl? What's her name? Do you know that girl? Yeah, Brie. Is she? Where is she?
She's in North Carolina too. She's.
Is she really? Okay, because did you ever connect with her? Or is this one of the people? And Okay.
She was at the we had that meetup in North Carolina last month. She was there.
I couldn't remember who it was, but I kept seeing her, and I'm like, I seriously think this is the same. It's kind of like this small little network of narcissistic like educators on the app, and it's like, eventually we all meet up.
Saved me, honestly. I love all of it.
I did.
It's a saving grace and all the other good jazz. So, oh my goodness.
A lot of people are talking about children in the comments, like, can a narcissist love their kids, or can like you co-parent with a narcissist?
So this is my advice on narcissists and children. If you don't have them, don't have them. If you don't have kids by narcissists, don't have kids by narcissists. Like,
I agree, 100%.
Don't go thinking the baby's gonna fix. Like, you know what? We need to fix this relationship. A baby or 2 or 3 or 4. No, don't do that.
That's never the answer.
Yeah. You don't. That's not the answer. But like, if you have them, you have to deal. Of course, you have to deal with it then on that circumstances. But like, co-parenting, it just depends on the narcissistic person. Parallel parenting, there's a lot of different moving pieces in that circumstance right there, y'all.
Yeah, I know some narcissists who are no longer in the relationship with their baby mama, whatever, and they co-parent actually fine as long as they don't interact with each other's personal lives. Me and my ex is completely different. He only wants to take his kids because he wants the image. He wants that good dad image. He's fed that to everybody around him, and he wants to put that back out there. And that's the only reason why he's doing what he's doing. But whenever he has the kids, his girlfriend's with them all the time, which makes them uncomfortable, which is why they don't want to see him now. They openly say, I don't want to go visit him, because they don't want to spend time with her. They want to spend time with their dad, and he's in his phone, or he's giving other people attention, or he just leaves partway through, or he's just with the adults. He's not giving them the attention they need because they're not serving anything for him.
Yeah, they're not serving it. They are serving. Their presence is serving that he's a good dad. It's just like a lot of narcissistic people.
Yeah, but the interaction is not necessary in his mind. So to me, co-parenting is almost impossible, which is why I let my kids choose whether or not they want to go. And he fights me in court over it, but I don't care. I have recordings of them saying it. I'm like, I'm going to give you whatever you want to see. This is reality. I'm not going to force my kids to be around somebody I know is toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
co-parenting is incredibly hard. My God, I don't know.
Very.
But when you deal with narcissistic people, narcissists think proximity is love. So I see a lot of people seeing that in the comment section. Like, proximity to that narcissistic person is them loving you. I'm here or not. I show up, don't I? So you hear them say that type of stuff a lot. Like, just because
my ex would use that line, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Or I could leave anytime I want. I choose to stay. And I'm like,
that's love. Okay. That's love. So
I think it's super complicated because sometimes like parenting is like, or like the children are like weaponized. And that's what I keep seeing with my clients that I like see is like the how many children are like weaponized, especially in the co-parenting situation, which is like so hard because there's like it's a lose-lose situation. Like the kids are losing, the narcissist obviously isn't getting what they want, and then the other person is also losing. So it's like every single person loses. It's so rough.
Somebody said, "Do you love your kids, Lee?" Sometimes when it suits me, y'all. When it suits me.
Well, okay, but like, Lee, can I just say something? I'm just joking. I have 3 kids, and they're like, when I'm big into authenticity, and I sit there and I go, do you think you'd catch me? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's incredibly hard to have children, and there are many days where I'm like, okay, like I can do this, but I don't love it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but
this is not my day.
Yeah. And so I think people sometimes go extreme because like if you're in the healing stages of like getting to a new self-growth level or something, like I don't think you're ever going to be in a place where you're not going to be authentic with yourself. You're going to have days where it's going to be incredibly hard. But I do think there are people that are like, I just see children as like an accessory or something. So I'm not saying that that's not out there, but
that's why people have those warnings in the cars to check the back seats.
Yeah. I didn't even ask for Lee. I didn't ask for that
blows
warning.
my
My
mind.
car came with that warning. It literally was.
No, I got shit on for posting a video as a duet because I was like, if you can forget your child, I don't think you should have children. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay,
And people were like, but mental health and like stress. And I'm like, I have bipolar. I have severe depression and anxiety. I have seizures because of my anxiety. I've literally been out of work for that, but spent time in the hospital. But never once have I ever forgot that I have children. Ever.
They tell you to leave something important in the back seat so you won't forget your kids.
Yeah, that's what they really say. And honestly, I mean,
your cell phone or something in the back seat.
I really think it depends on like what kind of process. Because believe me, the people that genuinely need the reminders, like it's probably a good thing they have them in the cars. It probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not dogging on it, but the fact that there's been that much damage that they have to do that blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Sorry, I'm just trying to read.
Yeah, what's more important to your child? I get it. How do I ask a question? Just like that right there. just type it, y'all. Like I said, we're just chit-chatting.
They come in pretty fast. They're hard to keep up with.
I know. I can't. Hold on. Narc and a toxic person. Oh, yeah. Have you ever answered this, Liz? Or Liz? Lee? Have you ever answered the difference between a narc and a toxic person? To me, that's incredibly hard to answer. I literally don't know how to answer.
So the reason I say you hear me say it at the beginning of pretty much all my videos, narcissists or toxic people or whatever. Because the reason I say that because not everybody who's a toxic person is a narcissist. You know what I mean? So I have to differentiate between the two. Not everybody is a pathological narcissist. And I think people know that. Like, most people know that not everybody is a narcissistic person. And not all narcissists it's a lot, y'all. I have to make a video. I can't really talk. I'm on the spot right now. So.
Yeah, what I would say is I think it's funny because the more I looked into this, like I actually think some of the traits, I've even said this on videos, Lee. I've said like there are people that genuinely do have the traits that actually don't have the full-on disorder, and it never developed into the full-on disorder because it's just like not incapacitating like every single, like it's just not infiltrating every relationship. You know what I mean? It's like maybe focused on their daughter or like that's it, you know? And so it's really interesting because I'm like, sometimes it's just people who are really, really not emotionally skilled. And that's so hard to just like tell people because it's like, if you're really, really unskilled emotionally, you're just going to do toxic stuff. Like, I'm not going to swear because I don't want to kick down. You're just going to do toxic stuff. You're just going to do, because you don't have the skill set. So when someone starts attacking you, you're just going to go to the bare bones. You're going to be like, you did it too. What about when you did that? What about this? And you're going to be like, you know, and you're just going to be like super, super, super like elementary when you engage with the argument or the conflict. And of course that looks like you're toxic because you're just like, you can't have a conversation with me. So I don't know. It's tough. That's how
emotional maturity is a huge thing with communication, because if you're not on the same level, you don't have the same understanding of what the concept you're talking about is. So it's really hard to get on the same page with somebody who's on a different level with you. And if you're emotionally inept, you can have toxic behavior, just like being mentally ill, depending on whatever your mental illness is. You're going to have certain toxic traits, whether you realize them or not. And it's how you acknowledge that and deal with that. That's the main thing. And it really is like, what do you do if you don't realize where you're at when you're having this? Like, that's what my thing was. I didn't realize that I was being toxic in a lot of ways in my relationship because I thought I was just being reactive. And I wasn't actually being toxic, but I realized after the fact when I removed myself from that situation, because like you said, you can't heal in what broke you. So I removed myself from that situation and I realized, oh, I was being a very toxic mom. I was being verbally abusive towards my kids, which I never would have done being someone who was verbally and physically abused by my mother. I would not have done that if I wasn't in that position. And now being out of that position, I'm not like that with my kids. Yes, I still yell as a mother. I'm a family from Massachusetts. I'm the only New Hampshireite, so we're all a little loud. But I'm not verbally abusive to my kids. I'm not mean towards them anymore. I don't take out aggression that was not meant for them on them. But I was toxic because of the toxicity that I was around and my natural toxic behavior from my mental illness that I wasn't aware of. So, I mean, there's ways to like take positivity with it, because that's what I tried to do with my situation that really helped me get out of where I am in the healing journey. Like, acknowledge that I did do toxic behavior because of the toxic stuff that I was in, but I also had my own toxic behavior that I was brought awareness to because of that situation, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
That's self-awareness right there. So I tell people, like, self-awareness doesn't just work for narcissists. Self-awareness is for everybody. Self-aware of who you are allows you to heal once you get out of these relationship dynamics, and things like that. Somebody said, I watched one of Lee's videos, and the narcissist was here, took the phone away and said, "No more TikTok allowed."
Lee, you probably have the best stories about, like, people messaging you, like, they literally found you. And
oh yeah, no, I get mad from angry men and women, like, literally every day. Sometimes I respond to them like just a thumbs up or just something laughing. You know what I mean? So somebody says, "Why won't he admit to anything?" Why do you need him to admit to anything if you already know the truth? Why do you need him to admit it?
They don't take blame. That's what I've noticed. Taking blame is a huge no-no. Like, they will literally try to deflect that in any possible manner. Try to bring it either around to, well, you weren't meeting my needs, or you weren't doing this, so I felt some type of way, so I did this. So you can't blame me. It's actually your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I say, I always tell people, you don't need a confession from a narcissist, y'all. If you have proof, you have evidence, just take it and act on it. Whatever acting on it looks like to you, just do it. Just act on it. If acting on it is leaving safely, then do that, because you're not like, it's gonna be hard to hold them accountable. Because, like, I tell these people too, like, even the police will convict you without a confession. Like, if they have evidence, does it make it easier with a confession? Yeah, like, confess to this. Here's you at the scene of the crime doing this, doing that. Confess. I didn't do it. That ain't me. I plead the fifth. And then this type of stuff happened right there. And they still end up going to jail. Like, you don't need a confession. Like I said, y'all, you'll stay in a long ass relationship, toxic relationship, trying to get a confession. I went crazy trying to get a confession. You see? There you go, right there. You will lose your mind trying to get a confession.
I definitely got to that point. I was losing my mind attempting to get him to admit his faults that he was doing, even though I had screenshotted proof. I had a bunch of stuff. I was like, what is this? Explain why you did this. And, like, tell me what happened in total. Like, tell me the truth, because I just want to hear it from you. And that was never something that he could. I think one time through the entire 7 years that we were together, he admitted, like, openly admitted to it after me being like, I'm not going to let this go because I've had enough and you're driving me insane. But I went literally crazy over that kind of stuff. And I was being insane because I couldn't handle his insanity. Because to me, I think very logically, and everything's very black and white to a degree with, communication and with basis of understanding. And I was just, like, bouncing off of him, like, why are you doing this? So illogical. This makes no sense. This is insane, literally insane. And I'm sitting there being the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but you see what you said, though? So I feel like you said, I want to hear it from you. That want right there will keep you messed up, because they know you need them for something. So they know you're not going to leave. If you need this from me, if you want this from me, you're not going to leave. So I wouldn't even tell you. Why would I? You going to leave me? No, I just want to hear it. No, cool. Why we
that's how it was. That's exactly how it was. Yeah. Someone said something to how do you pull a narcissist down when you get them up?
No.
In that aspect, it says, how do you calm a narcissist down when you bring something up, but they turn it around on you? Your best bet from my experience in my life, I would say, don't even acknowledge anything. Move away from the situation and drop it and just get the fuck out of there. Because they either shut down or they blame you, and it's not going to go any other way.
It's a losing game. I think the hardest part about this stuff is you genuinely are participating in a losing game. Like, you're literally continually showing up to every single part of that game, and you're like, is anything different? And they're gonna be like, no. And it's like, am I continuing to lose? Yes. And so I don't know, it's just really tough, because I think, Lee, your point of what is the reason, like, what's the barrier for you to get through, I don't know, like, leaving or get through, not going back to someone. And you were like, I just want a confession, or I just want, an apology or something. And I almost think that's, like, stay with me here, but I actually think it's more dangerous if you got a confession or an apology from a narcissist, because I'd be like, why? why are they doing that? Like literally, I would genuinely, if my client came into me and said, oh my God, he came in and he apologized and he said, like, he admitted it and he was just like, I saw it and he shared with me his phone. I'd be like, oh, we're leveling up. Like, I'd be like, oh, we're leveling up. This person is leveling up to them. And the reason why is because, you know why, Lee? Like, you only would do that is if it's like serving some kind of like grand scheme.
That cycle was huge in my situation. It was like he would go to a certain degree when he would get caught and stuff, and he would do certain things and say certain things that he would know would pacify me. So it would finish the conversation to like how you say you just want to drop it and walk away from it, like you don't even want to deal with it. He would be able to pacify me in those ways, give me certain kind of things to say, yeah, I did this and I'm sorry, I'm acknowledging how you feel. And then he would be like, nothing happened. That never happened. We're back to normal. And I'm like, okay, just pretend that's normal. Pretend that's normal. And like grit my teeth like this is totally okay.
Oh my God, it's so tough.
But as selective honesty, I'll give you just enough to keep you from leaving. Yeah, just to reassure you. It's just I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing. The whole thing probably make you leave. I'm gonna tell you just enough to make you think I'm remorseful. Look, I did it. I'm sorry. That's it. Gotcha. And that's all. You know, use some flowers, and that somehow flowers are the healing medicine, the healing thing, the healing gift is flowers. I don't know if flowers are an apology pheromone or something like that, but it's just like I got some flowers that they're getting cheated on. So I'm going to take them back. Like that's all it takes was some roses, a dozen roses.
Oh my God, Lee. Okay, so let me say this. Okay, this is actually one of the things that I try to tell everyone. I'm like, stop looking at the surface level. You got flowers, okay? Look at the scheme of the last 3 weeks after they gave you the flowers. Why are you looking at the flowers as a thing? Like, you literally have to look at the greater wide lens, because I'm gonna die. Like, when I get my clients, I swear that's what I say. I'm like, why are you talking about the surface level? They'll be like, no, he got me chocolates, he got me flowers, and he said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I literally don't care. Like, why are you telling me a surface level thing when, like, you're following with, like, because I hadn't seen you in a month, you told me every other shit show that flowed, like, through that in the last month. I'm like, you're blinding yourself from the, like, in the surface level. So, like, if I was going to have anyone take away, I'd be like, stop looking at the surface level. Stop looking at the surface level. Go wide lens. Pan out. Give yourself a theme. Look at the theme. What's the theme? You got to do it.
Noticing patterns and acknowledging what ways that person does their things and deals with that superficial stuff. Because that's what a lot of it is superficial stuff with narcissists. That's what covers a lot of stuff up. It's great.
You see, he banged my friend, but I got flowers. You win. You won.
I hope you ran.
It's not funny though, but it's like,
yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, it's so absurd.
He got some BFF ass, and you got some roses, so some lilies. That doesn't work that way, y'all. Yeah, I do have to hop off. My wife wanted to put my. So I had to hop off here, y'all. I do have to hop off. I'm gonna go live.
You're fine.
We can connect. We can connect.
Yeah, just message me. And it was nice to talk to you, Brianna. Yeah, we'll have a great night, guys.
Likewise. Thank y'all for tuning in here, y'all. I just said, we'll connect, y'all. We'll connect. Okay. All right.